is sponsored by Amarada, the energy company.
Good afternoon. Another grey day across London, all very disappointing after the sunshine we had in July. You can see on the satellite picture that most of the cloud is across eastern parts of Britain today, and it is going to move away further to the south and east through tonight and tomorrow. So I think the brighter skies that are to the west today should be over us for tomorrow, so a slightly brighter prospect for tomorrow at least. But the rest of today will keep a lot of cloud, one or two mostly light showers around. If we get a heavier shower, it'll be to the north and east, but it is a cool day, temperatures around 18. That's about 64. Now, any showers that we do get today will die away overnight, one or two mist patches around, and then tomorrow a slightly better prospect, I think. There'll still be a lot of cloud around, maybe a shower in the west later, but one or two bright spells and a touch warmer too. Here's a summary.
For a more detailed 5-day outlook, call Weather Update, sponsored by Amarada.
You're watching Carlton, part of the ITV network. It's exactly 12:30, time for the lunchtime news.
Carlton Weather is sponsored by Amarada, the energy company.
Good afternoon. Things should brighten up a little bit for tomorrow, but for the rest of today we're stuck with mostly cloudy skies, one or two scattered showers around as well. If you see a glimpse of the sun, you'll be fairly lucky, and it's cool too. The winds from the north, temperatures only around 18. That's just 64. For tonight, a few mist patches around. The thicker cloud should move away gradually to the south and east, and that's why we're a little bit more hopeful for tomorrow. Some breaks in the cloud at times, the odd sunny spell perhaps, and a touch warmer too, up to around 20 or 21, just into the 70s. Here's the summary.
For a more detailed 5-day outlook, call Weather Update, sponsored by Amarada. Carlton Weather is sponsored by Amarada, the energy company.
Good evening. If you're looking forward to seeing the eclipse tomorrow, don't be tempted into a last-minute rush to the West Country. You're better off in London, a better chance of at least seeing something with the cloud breaks coming our way. You can see on the satellite picture, there's today's thick cloud. That's going to move away to the southeast. Those are the clearer spells that they've had in the west today that we should see tomorrow, but really more thick cloud coming in for the West Country through the day tomorrow. So back home tonight, the clouds gradually breaking up, clear spells coming in from the west, the odd mist patch perhaps, but most places dry overnight. And then tomorrow morning, a mixture of, well, a fair bit of cloud really, but at least some breaks between the clouds, the odd glimpse of sunshine, and reasonably bright for most of us through the afternoon too. The west getting a bit cloudier as we go through the day, top temperature 21.
For a more detailed 5-day outlook, call Weather Update, sponsored by Amarada. Carlton Weather is sponsored by Amarada, the energy company.
Good evening. A brighter day in the London region tomorrow. Whether it will be bright enough for us to see much of the eclipse, well, that's still in the balance. I think we've got a better chance here, though, than they have further west. Overnight tonight, the thick cloud that we've had today is gradually breaking up, the last of the showers moving away, one or two mist patches around. That'll give us a mixed start to tomorrow, quite a bit of cloud around, but some sunny spells, so there is a real chance that we'll see at least something of the eclipse through the morning. And then during the afternoon, most of the region will stay dry and fairly bright, just the odd chance of a shower drifting into the west of the region there. But for most of London, a fairly bright afternoon, temperatures creeping up to around 20 or maybe 21 in the afternoon. That's around 70 degrees Fahrenheit, so dry and fairly bright for London tomorrow. Here's the summary.
For a more detailed 5-day outlook, call Weather Update, sponsored by Amarada. Carlton Weather is sponsored by Amarada, the energy company.
A dry day to come with cloud breaks and some bright or sunny spells. That means there is a good chance of seeing this morning's eclipse. With light winds and temperatures around 20 Celsius, 68 Fahrenheit, it should also feel reasonably pleasant. Tonight, clear periods and variable amounts of cloud, low temperatures around 10 Celsius, 50 Fahrenheit. And tomorrow, another dry day in store with a good deal of cloud around, with only a few bright or sunny spells. Winds continuing light, top temperatures around 20 Celsius.
For a more detailed 5-day outlook, call Weather Update, sponsored by Amarada.
Welcome to our live coverage of the solar eclipse. Let's go straight now to pictures of the first eclipse to be seen in Britain, the first total eclipse to be seen in Britain for 72 years. This is the view actually from Alderney in the Channel Islands. We had a view from Bodmin in Cornwall, but the clouds came just as the astrologers astronomers said it would. Remarkable scene. It looks as if you're looking at a crescent moon. You're not. You're looking at the sun, which is about to be completely eclipsed by the moon, a sight not seen over Britain since the 29th of June 1927. And let me just give you a little bit of science. The moon is a mere 250,000 miles away from us, but the sun nearly 100 million miles, which is why to our eyes they are in effect the same size. And that's why the moon can blot out the sun. A total eclipse happens across the world several times a year, but this has not been seen over Britain for 72 years. And in fact, this particular eclipse will cover the largest land mass in history. Now, moments away from a total eclipse, we're above the clouds now. This shot is coming from an RAF Hercules. There, total eclipse. The moon is covering the sun, and that is a corona that you see around the sun. Live pictures coming from above the clouds of a total eclipse. And at this moment, it's dark outside. We're told that as the earth falls dark, plants and animals become confused. Astronomers are at this moment studying the planets and the stars for a view that they will get once in a lifetime. It'll stay like this for just over 2 minutes before the moon moves slightly, slowly across to the left, and you'll see the light come out on the right. Now the view from Bodmin Moor in Cornwall. Just a sliver of sunlight left as the moon is about to cover the sun totally. Darkness in the middle of the day. The first such sight from mainland Britain for 72 years. Total darkness. And there, back to our shot from above the clouds, from a Hercules, an RAF Hercules. What an extraordinary sight. Well, lots of people have got lots of theories about this. The couturier Paco Rabanne has predicted that at this precise moment, Paris, the capital of France, will be destroyed by a gigantic fireball. Well, he's probably wrong. Now, just at the top of the picture, the diamond ring. Look at that. Whoa! The sunlight begins to emerge. Ah. Well, the shot from Alderney now. What a pity that the picture from the Hercules just broke up as we were seeing the diamond ring, the solitaire. So Alderney, it's not yet total eclipse, because obviously being further east, they're still waiting. They're a couple of minutes away from it. Let's go back to our Hercules as the diamond ring has gone, but there, the sliver of sunlight emerging again. I was saying earlier that this particular eclipse is covering the largest landmass in history. From here, it races across Europe, the Black Sea, the Middle East, India, and finishes in the Bay of Bengal at sunset. And in the course of the day, this total eclipse will be seen by more people than any total eclipse in history. The view from the island of Alderney again. Sad for those in Cornwall, but the meteorologist.
Carlton Weather is sponsored by Amarada, the energy company.
Good afternoon. I hope you had a better view of the eclipse than I did. This stubborn little patch of cloud came across central London just at the wrong time today. It's going to break up again, wouldn't you believe it, through the afternoon. So I think the rest of the day is going to be dry now and fairly bright for us all. Some sunny spells and temperatures getting back up to around 19 or 20, and 20 is around 68 Fahrenheit. It looks pretty settled now for the next 24 hours. Tonight it's going to be dry too. Quite a cool night, down to just 12 in places, some clear spells. And then tomorrow, a dry day, quite a pleasant day, I think. There'll certainly be some large patches of cloud drifting around, but plenty of sunny spells as well. Very light winds, and again temperatures going back up to around 19 or 20 in the afternoon. It's the high 60s, 20 is around 68. Generally dry. Here's a summary.
For a more detailed 5-day outlook, call Weather Update, sponsored by Amarada. Carlton Weather is sponsored by Amarada, the energy company.
Hello again. I hope you managed to see at least some of the eclipse. The clouds have been coming and going today. Some sunny spells for this afternoon. Quite a bright and cheerful day, I think, now. Temperatures up to around 19 or 20, just about at best. 20 is 68 degrees Fahrenheit. Very quiet weather now for the rest of today, tonight and tomorrow too. Overnight tonight, most of the cloud will disappear. I think there'll be some good clear spells around. Quite a cool night, down to just 10 or 11 in places. And then tomorrow, rather like today, a mixture of sunny spells and patchy cloud.
For a more detailed 5-day outlook, call Weather Update, sponsored by the energy company.
Good evening. Can't promising anything quite as exciting as an eclipse tomorrow, but we should be able to rustle up a pleasant day, dry and bright for most of the London region. As far as the night's concerned, the thicker cloud we've had this evening basically breaking up, I think, as we go through the night. So 1 or 2 clear spells, a range of temperatures somewhere between 10 in the sticks and 14 in central London. That's around 57. And then for tomorrow, it will be a dry day, a lot of cloud on and off as we saw today, but some sunny spells in between the clouds, so bright and cheerful, and temperatures after that coolish start up to around 21, and that's just 70 Fahrenheit. The outlook for the next few days, though, is very mixed. There will be some dry, bright bits around, but lots of showers too, particularly on Friday and Saturday, and windy through the weekend. Here's tomorrow's summary.
For a more detailed 5-day outlook, call Weather Update, sponsored by Amarada. Carlton Weather is sponsored by Amarada, the energy company.
Good evening. Not a bad day in store for London tomorrow. Should be dry and fairly bright at times, but make the most of it. The weekend looks pretty unsettled. As far as the night's concerned, it's a chilly night really. Temperatures down to just 10 in places. A little warmer than that in central London, 14 the lowest you'll get there. That's around 57. On to tomorrow, patchy clouds certainly, but some sunny spells just as likely in between the clouds. And after that cool start to the day, temperatures will recover through the day up to around 20, maybe just scraping at 21 in the afternoon, and that's around 70 Fahrenheit. It should feel warm enough because the winds are very light in from the southeast. Things very unsettled though through Friday and the weekend. Low pressure, weather fronts, all the mixtures in there. There'll be some sunny spells, but also quite a few showers and fairly windy through the weekend. Good night.
For a more detailed 5-day outlook, call Weather Update, sponsored by Amarada. Carlton Weather is sponsored by Amarada, the energy company.
Hello, good afternoon. It's been a fairly unpromising, dull, grey old morning. As indicated here by our Met Office satellite picture, a lot of cloud lurking around and a few showers as well. And we can follow the progress of these showers on our Met Office radar sequence, tending to die off during the course of the afternoon with just 1 or 2 remaining. So on to the actual detail, and we see some brighter weather out to the west. Again, 1 or 2 showers. But as the afternoon turns into evening, well, we've got pleasanter weather, brighter weather spreading right across the region, and the showers by now becoming very well scattered affairs. So a pleasant end to the day at least. Into tomorrow morning, cloudy notes, some brightness to the south and east. Things deteriorate and we see a cloudier picture with a little bit of rain by the end of the afternoon. That's all from me.
For a more detailed 5-day outlook, call Weather Update, sponsored by Amarada. Carlton Weather is sponsored by Amarada, the energy company.
Hello, good afternoon. Things are getting gradually brighter at the moment, and as the afternoon becomes evening, we'll see brighter weather right across the region with just a few scattered showers. By now, they'll be very well scattered affairs, though. Now, we go into tomorrow morning on a fairly cloudy note, the very best of the brightness, some glimmers of sunshine to the south as well as the east of the region. During the course of the afternoon, we see more in the way of cloud. Things tend to deteriorate. There'll be a little bit of rain around as well, a high of 22 or 72, and a light breeze. Here's the summary.
For a more detailed 5-day outlook, call Weather Update, sponsored by Amarada. Carlton Weather is sponsored by Amarada, the energy company.
Hello, good evening. Well, things are certainly brightening up, especially so to the south of London, and it's indicated here by our Met Office satellite sequence. We're hoping for just a touch more in the way of brightness before the evening's out. On to tonight now, cloudy skies. We might catch a shower or two, fairly mild temperatures along with light breezes. Now we go into tomorrow morning and we see the best of the sunny weather, some brightness during the morning. Generally speaking, during the course of the afternoon is a case of that cloud building up all the while. A couple of showers cropping up as well, a high of 22, 72 in Fahrenheit, and we keep the light breezes. It's not the most promising of weekends, I'm afraid, with some showers around, some heavy on Saturday, rain up from the southwest on Sunday, a touch brighter on Monday, but always the threat of a shower. That's all from me.
For a more detailed 5-day outlook, call Weather Update, sponsored by Amarada. Carlton Weather is sponsored by Amarada, the energy company.
Hello there once again. We have a couple of showers around at the moment, cloudy skies, fairly mild temperatures though, held at 15 in the city, 59 in Fahrenheit, and light winds. Now we see the best of the sunshine tomorrow morning. It doesn't last, I'm afraid. By afternoon, a lot more in the way of cloud building up, a shower or two cropping up as well. Temperatures a high of 22, 72 in Fahrenheit, and we maintain those fairly light breezes. It's not the most promising of weekends, I'm afraid. Saturday, we have a fair few showers, some heavy from time to time. Cloudy all day on Sunday, along with more general rain pushing up from the southwest. Then on Monday, a brighter day expected, a glimmer or so of sunshine, but at the same time, always the threat of a shower. And that's more or less the way we expect the weekend to work out. Good night.
For a more detailed 5-day outlook, call Weather. Carlton Weather is sponsored by Amarada, the energy company.
A fairly cloudy afternoon in store with only a few glimpses of the sun. There will also be a few showers later on. Top temperatures near 20 Celsius, 68 Fahrenheit. A few clear spells overnight, mainly to the east of London, but elsewhere may see the odd spot of rain. It will become quite misty with low temperatures around 12 Celsius, 54 Fahrenheit. And tomorrow, after a fine start with some sunshine, cloud will thicken to bring some rain to the south of London later. Top temperature 22 Celsius.
For a more detailed 5-day outlook, call Weather Update, sponsored by Amarada. Carlton Weather is sponsored by Amarada, the energy company.
Hello, good afternoon. It's not too bad out there at the moment. A veil of cloud with some hazy sunshine doing its best to come through. Turning to our Met Office satellite picture, we can see a whole pile of cloud lurking right across the country, thickest of all up to the north, and that, I'm afraid, is very much heading our way. More of the same during the course of the afternoon. Some hazy sunshine, don't hold your breath. A lot of cloud, maybe the odd shower or two. A high of 20, 68 in Fahrenheit. Now, that cloud thickens even more so tonight, setting off a couple of showers. A mild night everywhere. Into tomorrow morning on a damp, cloudy note. We see more in the way of sunshine by afternoon, in turn sparking off a couple of showers, some of those heavy later on as well, and a freshening breeze taking the edge off those temperatures, a high of 22, 72 in Fahrenheit. Here's our weather summary.
For a more detailed 5-day outlook, call Weather Update, sponsored by Amarada.
Seaboard Energy, bringing home electricity and gas.
Hello there once again. That cloud's building up at the moment. We have a few showers around too, but at least it's a mild night. Into tomorrow morning on a grey, damp note. It is a brightening scenario. During the course of the afternoon, that sunshine comes out, in turn sparking off a few showers. Now, it's a high tomorrow of 22, that's 72 in Fahrenheit, but a bit of a breeze blowing around, in turn taking the edge off those temperatures. Quick look ahead now to the rest of the weekend and early next week. On Sunday, some brightness as well as showers. Monday, a cloudy, rainy start. It brightens up later. Then Tuesday, I'm afraid, it's back to that unsettled theme with a fair few showers around. That's all from me.
For a 5-day forecast, call Seaboard Energy, bringing home electricity and gas.
Good afternoon. Well, it's not brilliant out there, but it's probably the best of the weather across the whole of the country at the moment. Bright and breezy, some sunshine, but those clouds are building all the while. So although it'll start off mostly dry, I think those clouds will build up to produce the odd sharp shower, especially to the north of London, the odd rumble of thunder quite possible. Reasonably warm, out of the breeze, 21 or 22 Celsius. Tonight, the showers slowly dying away, becoming fine, not too cold either, 11 or 12 typically. Tomorrow, a better day, mostly dry. The odd shower possible, but many of us escaping. That's it. Here's a summary.
For a 5-day forecast, call Weather Update. Seaboard Energy, bringing home electricity and gas.
Good afternoon. A number of sharpish showers out there, the odd rumble of thunder possible. They should slowly die away during the course of the evening, becoming dry overnight, not too cold either, 11 or 12 Celsius, 54 Fahrenheit, the breeze easing off as well. A bright and breezy start tomorrow, plenty of sunshine first thing, I fancy. Those clouds, though, building up just like they did today. The odd shower possible by afternoon, but not as many as we've seen today. Many places staying dry all the way through, and temperatures up to 21 or 22. The outlook, though, remains very unsettled indeed. Here's a summary.
For a 5-day forecast, call Weather Update. Seaboard Energy, bringing home electricity and gas.
Good evening. No sign of the weather really settling down, but a mostly fine 24 hours coming up, becoming dry overnight. Not too cold either, temperatures dipping no lower than 11 or 12, 54 Fahrenheit. So a bright and breezy start tomorrow, plenty of sunshine first thing. The clouds will tend to build up, just like today, but I don't think the showers will be as widespread come afternoon as they have been this afternoon. Just the odd sharp one, especially the north and west of London. Many places staying dry, temperatures up to 21 or 22. The outlook, as I say, still very unsettled. That's it from me. Here's a summary.
For a 5-day forecast, call Weather Update. Seaboard Energy, bringing home electricity and gas.
Good afternoon. A very unsettled week coming up, and there's a lot of cloud out there right now. But having said that, it probably looks worse than it is. In fact, many places will stay dry this afternoon. The odd shower around, but nothing as heavy or as widespread as we saw yesterday. Temperatures peaking at around 21 or 22, 72 Fahrenheit, but a noticeable southwesterly breeze. Overnight, still the chance of the odd shower, especially to the south of London. Most places becoming dry, quite a cool one. Temperatures down to 8 Celsius. Tomorrow morning, those showers clearing away. A lot of dry and bright weather. Here's a summary.
For a 5-day forecast, call Weather Update. Seaboard Energy, bringing home electricity and gas.
Good evening. Well, most of us managed to get away with a dry day, and that's the way most of us will stay tonight. Just the odd shower, especially to the south of London. Many of us escaping, though. Quite a cool one. Temperatures down to 8 Celsius at lowest. Tomorrow, any showers in the south, soon drifting away. Then plenty of brightness, some sunshine developing. But I think there'll be rather more showers by the afternoon, one or two, and quite heavy as well, especially to the north and west of London. A few places escaping, though. Temperatures up to 20 or 21, 70 Fahrenheit, but the outlook still very unsettled. That's it from me. Here's a summary.
For a 5-day forecast, call Weather Update. Seaboard Energy, bringing home electricity and gas.
Good evening. Most of us starting the new week on a dry note. That's not the way it'll stay, though. The odd shower to the south of London, but most of us escaping tonight. Temperatures down to 8 or 9 Celsius at lowest, 80s 46 Fahrenheit. So any showers in the far southeast dying out in the morning, then a respite, some sunshine developing, but later on in the morning, and more particularly the afternoon, those showers building up. More showers than we saw today, and one or two quite heavy, especially to the northwest of London. Temperatures in the brighter spells, 20 or 21, but the outlook distinctly unsettled. That's it. Here's a summary.
For a 5-day forecast, call Weather Update.
Carlton Weather is sponsored by Amarada, the energy company.
Good afternoon. Well, sunshine's going to be rather elusive over the days ahead. In fact, tomorrow looks like turning distinctly wet and windy. The satellite picture shows that wall of water looming out in the Atlantic. Ahead of it, more broken skies suggests some brighter periods through this afternoon, but already showers are beginning to develop, and later on this afternoon, one or two turning quite heavy, possibly thundery. Already hit and miss as usual. Some places, a few places, could escape entirely. Not particularly warm, 18 to 20 Celsius, 20, 68 Fahrenheit, with a bit of a breeze. Tonight, most of the showers dying away, turning quite cool. Temperatures down to 8 Celsius. Tomorrow morning, starting off dry, but it won't last. Wet and windy weather spreading from the west. That's it from me. Here's a summary.
For a more detailed 5-day outlook, call Weather Update, sponsored by Amarada. Carlton Weather is sponsored by Amarada, the energy company.
Good afternoon. Some fairly pokey showers out there at the moment. The odd rumble of thunder, they'll linger on into the evening in some places, but eventually overnight it should become mostly dry for a while, turning quite cool again. Temperatures down to 8 Celsius. Quite a bit of dew on the ground by the morning time. A bright start for a few, but already in the morning it'll be clouding over from the west, and I think in the latter half of the day it's really going to turn quite wet and quite windy as well. Temperatures no higher than 20. That's it from me. I'll leave you with tomorrow's summary.
For a more detailed 5-day outlook, call Weather Update, sponsored by Amarada. Carlton Weather is sponsored by Amarada, the energy company.
Good evening. Well, if you're thinking the weather can't get any worse, think again. But tonight at least it should become essentially dry, quite a cool one, down to 8 Celsius, perhaps the odd shower lingering on into the small hours. So tomorrow morning starting off dry in most places, some sunshine if you're lucky, but make the most of it because it won't last all morning. Cloud already gathering down to the southwest. And I think before lunchtime the first few spots of rain appearing here. In the second half of the day, that rain splashing its way across the whole of the area. Some heavy and persistent periods of rain. Flooding is a possibility. Obviously conditions out on the roads not all that great. Temperatures at best 19 or 20, 20 to 68, but a gusty wind. The outlook staying very unsettled indeed. Here's a summary.
For a more detailed 5-day outlook, call Weather Update, sponsored by Amarada. Carlton Weather is sponsored by Amarada, the energy company.
Thick cloud and rain should slowly give way to brighter weather this afternoon, but further showers can be expected with heavy, even thundery bursts likely. Temperatures reaching 20 Celsius, 68 Fahrenheit. Remaining cloudy overnight, with showers continuing in many areas of the region. Temperatures falling to 13 Celsius, 55 Fahrenheit. Dull and damp again tomorrow. Showers through the day, again heavy at times.
Sponsored by Amarada, the energy company.
Good afternoon. If the rain hasn't reached you yet, it will do in the next few minutes. It's already across most of the London region. It started off in the south and west this morning. You can see it on the radar there. It's been rushing in towards us through this morning. We've already had 1 or 2 spots by way of showers, but now this wall of water is just about to come across the rest of the London region. So the rest of the afternoon is going to be pretty cloudy and wet, at least for the first few hours. And then later this afternoon, as we get towards the evening, the more general cloud and rain will move away to the northeast. And we're left with some sunshine to end the day, but a lot of showers as well, and fairly blustery.